Hey guys. So I had a conversation with a client the other day, and this is a conversation that I have on a regular basis with clients as we're talking about abuse and adultery, drug addictions, all those kind of destructive behaviors. Oftentimes, a person's past comes up, past abuse, past, negative, toxic people in their lives who've mistreated them. And as we're working through and processing, oftentimes we get down to what's behind the abuse. When a person's being abusive, generally there's some level of trauma that they've experienced in their life. Bad things have happened to them. They've had a bad example set for them. There's a lot of that going on. And so oftentimes a client who is a victim will have some realizations about maybe what their abuser experienced, a trauma that they experienced, something in their life that was negative and difficult that may explain some of why they're being abusive or having struggles with addictions. And then what happens is they feel sorry for their abuser, which is good and healthy, right? Empathy. We want to have empathy. That's really healthy. But what we don't want to do is have that empathy turn into excusing behavior that is negative and destructive. So even if a person has experienced trauma, that's not an excuse for being abusive. Every person who experiences trauma, which is, I would say most of us have some level of trauma, every person who experiences that does not become an abuser necessarily, right? That's not always where that goes. I wouldn't say that's even the majority of where that goes. I will say that the difference is choosing to deal with that trauma. And that's where abusers are making a choice to be abusive because they're choosing not to get help and deal with the problems and the traumas in their past and in their life. So if you're a victim of abuse, if you're a victim of infidelity, or porn addictions or other types of addictions, it's fine to have that empathy for your abuser. It's healthy to have that, but it does not make what they're doing to you right. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it excusable. It doesn't mean you shouldn't hold them accountable. In fact, you're doing them a favor by holding them accountable because it may be their only chance at recognizing how big of a problem that they have and getting some help. Typically speaking, that's not the way that it goes, but it's important to know that we can have empathy and we can have understanding, but that does not make abusive behavior right or okay or excusable or mean that we shouldn't set boundaries and that we have to keep putting up with it.